So, your spouse just left for basic training and now you're mildly freaking out. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, please hit subscribe so you don't miss any of this new military content I will be putting out. My name is Abigail. I am an Army wife and have been for about 4 years now. And I'm just thinking about all the wisdom that I wish I would have had 4 years ago when I was starting this journey with my husband. So please hit subscribe and let's get into this video. I've got an iced coffee in my Selena cup. That is good. First of all, I just want to say you're doing the most, sis, and I applaud you. This is one of the hardest parts of being a part of the Army and being affiliated with the Army is this first little bit, this adjustment period. It's really, really difficult, and I just want to say it gets better. So hang in there, you got this, don't worry about it. But along with that is a lot of change for your soldier and also you. So I have put together just a couple tips that I think will make you feel a little bit better, a little bit more secure, and give you an idea of what to expect. Just to give you some background information, my husband joined the Army after a year of us being married. So I was already his wife by the time he enlisted. And he enlisted in 2014 and went to Fort Jackson, South Carolina for his basic training. He had a really difficult cycle for his basic training, and he did graduate, but he did have a lot of trouble along the way. And I think it made him a better soldier, but it also toughened me up as a spouse. And so I feel like I have a lot of good information and tips for you, especially if your spouse has a rougher time during their cycle. Okay, the first thing I want to say is a lot of the time when you don't have any basis of what the Army is like, maybe this is like the first person you've known to enlist and you're not really sure what to expect, I just want to give you some information that you can fall back on. So for me, my husband left on a Wednesday, and I believe by that Friday I received a call from him. He had already been in transit to Fort Jackson. He had already done the in-processing portion of basic training where it's all paperwork and medical and all the in-processing stuff, and it was right before they actually began basic training. You get a phone call. I want to warn you, this is a really difficult phone call to receive, but it's an even harder phone call for the soldier to give. What happens on their end is that they're made to take out their phone, they're made to dial your phone number and wait until the drill sergeant allows them to push call, and they have a script that they have to tell you, and they're not allowed to say anything else unless the drill sergeant maybe turns around and they have the opportunity to slip something else in there. But for the majority of the soldiers, they have drill sergeants all around them as they're making this phone call, and they have a script that they have to tell you. So in the phone call, you'll receive it and you'll be so excited to talk to them, but you're not really talking to them because it's a scripted call. So just expect that. But this phone call is important because it will have their address in it. So my first piece of advice for whenever your spouse ships off to basic training for the Army is to, 1, keep your phone on you and have it on ring at all times. And then 2, always have something to write with. At minimum, put your phone on speaker and write in the notes of your phone. When I got this phone call, I was actually at a restaurant and I flagged down a waitress to give me like a shred of receipt and a pen to like quickly scribble down his address, which was really sad. But anyway, that phone call, again, just so you know what you're expecting, very emotional, very hard for the service member to make. And they want to tell you all this stuff. They want to tell you, you know, they love you and they miss you and all these things, and that probably they're scared or nervous. You can definitely hear it in their voice whenever they give that call. So just stay upbeat, positive, stay strong for them, and make sure you really pay attention to that address. Okay, so they left for basic training, they're in the training, They've given you their address, all kinds of things. The second thing I wanted to talk about is insurance. Now, this is for those people whose spouses, legal spouses, are in the Army and they're training, because obviously insurance doesn't apply to anybody that the service member is not married to. So all my wives and husbands out there, your spouse just left, you will get in the mail a packet to fill out and to enroll yourself into a system called DEERS, DEERS. And basically DEERS is what attaches you to your service member. It has all your information, your children's information, all kinds of stuff, and it attaches you to your service member. I'm sure somebody in the comments below can explain this a little bit better than I can, but as far as my understanding goes, I don't have to deal with DEERS very often, except for the couple times that I've had children and that I've gotten a new ID. So from my understanding, DEERS is just what assigns you to your service member, and you will need to register with them, like basically register your information. And then with that, once you're in DEERS attached to your service member, you will be able to call TRICARE, which is the insurance company for the military. You'll be able to enroll with them and get everything set up so that in case you have to go to the hospital or go to an urgent care or get a prescription or do A through Z while your service member is in basic training, you will be able to have insurance while they're gone. So keep an eye out for that packet in the mail. It had phone numbers for me to call and talk to people and get myself enrolled and get it all squared away. And then I had to take that packet of paper and go to my local DEERS office, which I had a really tiny installation near my hometown, and so I was able to go there and enroll myself. But if you don't have one near you, you can either make the drive or you can wait. So that's that. So like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, basic training was really difficult for my husband because right at the beginning of the cycle he got injured, and basically this kind of like haunted him the entire time he was in basic. But I learned a couple things from that, and I just wanted to share them just in case your spouse has the same sort of situation where they're having a hard time, but they want to be there. I just have a couple words of wisdom, and then also just for people, just for everybody really. The first thing is keep your phone by you. If at all possible, keep your phone by you, because there is nothing worse than missing a phone call from your soldier in training. I never missed one, but I can't imagine being the soldier in training and calling and having it go to voicemail, because they're only given a certain amount of calls. So for me, I worked at a daycare where, I mean, according to licensing, you can't have your phone. So what I personally did is I left my phone with the receptionist that worked at my daycare, and I had it on ring, and I put it face up, and I put on a sticky note underneath the code to my phone and what my husband's name was. And I was like, if you see this name pop up on my phone, please answer it. Like, don't not answer it, and then run and get me and switch places with me so I can come and talk. And sure enough, I think the second day I left my phone with her, I got a phone call. So it's really important that you think about those things and don't let it just happen to you, because those phone calls mean everything for morale and just how the soldier is feeling. It can make a huge difference just to talk to you for a minute or two. The second piece of advice that I have goes along with the fact that my husband was injured. The phone calls I was getting from him were really upsetting. They had a lot of like news as to what was happening. He told me I got hurt, I can't walk, I can't run, I don't know what to do. The drill sergeants are making me do A through Z. Medical is saying A through Z. And he was really upset because he wanted to be there. He didn't want to like back out after he got injured. He was wanting to finish and finish strong. And so my piece of advice, just learning from that, is to keep the phone calls positive. I gotta tell you, there was a lot of times where he would call me and I would answer. I would have all the right things to say, and then as soon as I got off the phone with him, I would just break down into tears because I was like emotionally giving him everything I could to stay positive, but I was watching this whole thing crumble. And I mean, I'll spoil the ending. I mean, he's in the Army and like everything's fine, but in the moment you just feel like everything's crumbling down. I was getting really, really upset that his dream was kind of like, you know, falling through the cracks, and he got injured and I was worried about him and stuff. And so my piece of advice to you, and this is kind of the moment where as a spouse you kind of have to toughen up and be that backbone for your soldier, and it's to stay positive even though things are not looking positive, which is really, really difficult to do, and you want to be emotional, but a lot of the time it's better for you to just say everything's okay, take a deep breath, you know, take it day by day, you're fine, muscle through it, blah, blah, blah. Be super encouraging and super understanding. Another thing that I actually just thought of is if something does go wrong in their basic training, like they get hurt or they fail a PT test or something happens like that, be very understanding and don't berate them for failing or something like that. Just be really, really encouraging, because at one point, because of this injury, my husband did fail an event during his PT test, and he called me so disappointed. And every time he got to call, it was because the drill sergeants were making him call and be like, tell your wife that you failed and blah, 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 blah. But instead he was calling me and I was giving him words of encouragement, like, you're fine, you know you can do this. Like, you know it's because of your injury, like, you got this, push through. I know you can do it, but if you don't, it's okay. Like, I'm not blaming you. You're totally doing something that nobody else really does. So like, I'm already so proud of you. And so like, just reiterating those key things, like, I'm proud of you. You can do this. Like, I believe in you. It sounds so cheesy, but on the other side, they really, really need that. Keep your phone by you. Keep your phone calls positive, and make sure you reiterate to them how proud you are of them. The next couple things that I have are more money related. So the first thing, I don't know if this is normal, but I just want to share it just so people expect it. But me and my husband share a bank account, and whenever he gave the bank account information for his first paycheck took a month and a half to come in, his first paycheck, which, being on my end, being married to him, and we did have a second source of income through me, but it wasn't near enough what we needed for rent and groceries and all of those things. I just wanted to share that, like, it took a really, really long time for him to get his first paycheck, and I actually had to ask my parents for help with rent because I literally could not pay it, which was traumatic, but it's fine. We got through it. But I just wanted to share that little tidbit in case you want to do some financial planning, just to make sure that if you did have a gap in pay, that you would be okay. Get out of here. Also, another thing that has to do with pay is my husband reminded me of something that I don't really remember, but I'm gonna take his word for it, in that he said that the first paycheck that you receive as a soldier in training, they actually take $300 from it and they put it into an Eagle cash card, which is like a debit card that only the service member has access to, and they use that for like haircuts, supplies. The drill sergeants will take them to like the PX and stuff if they need to get like personal hygiene items, those kind of things. So just keep that in mind, that that first paycheck may not be the actual like full amount of what you're supposed to get, because that $300 went into their Eagle cash card. One of the last things that I wanted to touch on really quick is just, if there is an emergency that you need to reach your soldier when they're not calling you, the Red Cross is going to be your key to getting a hold of them. The only things that you need to know is their first and last name, possibly their social, and their like company information. So you'll have like their brigade, their battalion, their company, that kind of thing. You're gonna need to know that. So basically everything on their envelope, oh, and their rank probably, maybe their birthday, I don't know. As much information as you can gather about your soldier. Call the Red Cross, let them know what's going on. I believe the criteria for messages is like a death in the family, immediate family, anything to where you're admitted to the hospital, I believe. I think you actually have to be admitted. I'm pretty sure those are the things that are like the big ones that they'll take as an emergency and contact your soldier for you, not just like, I miss you or anything. Really, the last couple things I wanted to say is just to the spouse of the soldier in training. You're in for a really, really wild ride, but I promise it is so worth it. And to see your spouse on the other side of basic training turned into a soldier is really, really rewarding. And it's very rewarding to have supported them through that. So I just want to say, you're doing great. I know it's lonely. I know it takes a lot of adjustment, and I know that it's not the easiest thing in the world, and that's why not a lot of people do it. So you should be proud of yourself. You should absolutely be proud of your soldier in training. I wish the best of luck for both of you. And if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments below. Like I said, my husband's active duty. I'm very active in his military life, and I will do everything I can to answer any questions below for you that maybe you have or your spouse has or anything like that. We will 100% try to answer those for you on the side of being a little bit more seasoned in being in the Army, I guess. So thanks again for watching. I really, really hope you found this helpful. I tried to think of like the best things that I could share with somebody or that I wish somebody had shared with me. So I hope this is helpful, and I hope it kind of like tells you what to expect and you feel a little bit better. So thanks again for watching. Please hit subscribe if you would like to support content like this and you'd like to see it. Hit the notification bell if you want to be alerted every time I upload a video. I'm really excited because I got this like filming space happening here, and I'm hoping it works out to where I can film a whole bunch in here because I have so many ideas, Army related, mommy related, all kinds of stuff. So, and again, thank you for watching, and I wish you the best of luck in this journey that you've just started. Bye!